Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for April 26th through 30th, 2021. Well, today is moving into the full moon energies. This full moon happens tomorrow, the 27th, in most of the world. The Scorpio full moon, really powerful energy because we haven't had a lot of water. And so Mars has just moved over into Cancer, is at 1 degrees Cancer. And this moon right now, as we're heading into this full moon, is trining up with Cancer, with Mars and Cancer. So this water energy is kind of like opening up the floodgates because there's been so much going on beneath the surface that has not been doesn't jive with reality, or we don't know what reality really is, right? But we know we have this juxtaposing stories, narratives, realities, maybe multiple of them. But Scorpio, the Scorpio full moon, Scorpio wants the truth. It wants meaning and purpose. And this is the deal. If you're going to go and live your life on a surface level, then you're never going to get to the meat of life. You're never going to live. And so Scorpio wants this depth and this meaning. In order to have meaning, we got to go deeper to deeper levels. And that means we need to face the truth of situations. You know, it's just this energy of this water coming in right now is triggering grief, suppressed grief, energy, emotions that we haven't been able to feel. We've been in shock. We've been clinging on. We've been kind of holding on for dear life with this strange times that we live in where nothing is adding up and nothing is making sense except for that, and delusions galore, right? But now we've had, so we did have the water we have had has been around Pisces and squares to Neptune and the nodes and of the moon. And so a lot of energy of delusions and getting lost in the soup of mind control, programming, conditioning. And this astrology is saying, okay, now we got to face the underlying truth of what's going on. And this could be in a microcosm, in your relationships, in your life, in the world stage. But there's definitely a lot of emotions that have not been able to flow. Tears, let these energies flow. It makes me think of the work of Brené Brown that I brought up before, where her research into happy people and how their life is different and what makes up a happy person is that they take emotional risks. And this is exactly the Scorpio energy. If you want passion, you want depth, then you got to really live. And a lot of people are bracing and holding on for dear life, nothing close to actually living, right? So the astrology in the sky right now, leading up to this full moon, massive awakening, shaking the foundations of our reality, shaking the foundations of our relationship to physical form and to the earth, with the sun, Mercury coming up on Uranus. Now they're past Uranus now, just coming out of that conjunction, just in time for this full moon. After this full moon, the sun will make it to Uranus. And we'll be feeling that over this next week. And so massive activation of this new wealth, new paradigm of what, the Aquarian age, Uranus and Taurus is telling us that it's about a revolution of wealth and our value system. And basically what we found through this last few months of journey is that our wealth, if we're going to have a new financial system, a new wealth, a new way of egalitarian, more social justice financial system, then we can't really actually do that until we adjust our self-worth. We can't have new wealth until we have new self-worth, or just this whole concept, that's the false self, this personal self, this lower self is exactly in alignment with the lower matrix. It's what most of humanity is clinging onto as reality. And we've got to break the chains in order to let the new abundance come in that's trying to come in. But Mercury, Venus And now the sun coming to Uranus and Taurus is a council. And it's saying, what is this really about? What are we doing? And Uranus has an awakening energy. It's a vibrational frequency. So awakening us to new potential, new possibility. But that means the old has got to crumble. And when is this house of cards going to fall? I mean, how is it even holding itself up? Hollywood? CGI? Green screens? Like, how is this reality holding itself together? Lies upon lies upon lies, programming, propaganda, mind control. And this astrology is like awakening the mind, awakening our concept of who we think we are, humanity, and this beautiful lining up in the sky. This full moon creates a T-square with the sun and the moon in Taurus and Scorpio, and then square to Uranus in Taurus. And actually, Saturn is not too far off in Aquarius. So a grand fixed cross. And we're looking for trying to find stability in moving into these higher frequency vibrations, into this new world, into this new wealth, And it's this like crumbling. And what are we going to replace it with? There's nothing to replace it with. How can we let it crumble? And that's where supernova souls come in. You're here to establish and begin to build in these new energies. Now, so the astrology is so mystical and magical right now because we've got all of these planets and elements lining up around that 10 to 12 degree marker. That star pattern again in the sky. And this whole thing is framed by a trine between Saturn in Aquarius and the North Node, now at 11 degrees Gemini. And the North Node is how are we going to get to where we're going? And we're talking about empowerment. We're talking about communication. We're talking about the voice. We're talking about overcoming division. That's really interesting because the North Node at 11 is a number of facing the music. It's okay, right? Like there's an energy of a portal gateway to something new, but you got to face reality. You got to come face to face with that mirror. You got to be willing to be present and examine and the truth maybe, right? And that's what this astrology seems to be saying, the Scorpio full moon in this next week of astrology. It's like, stand, if you're aware and awake and you're listening to this and you're trying to figure out what's going on and you're trying to be present, this is our time to be present and stand as witness for the events that are about to unfold. Just be really, really present that this time is coming. The tide is turning, the dam is breaking, the truth is coming out. And humanity has quite a rude awakening. Those who have been clinging to the sinking ship. And so we're being asked to pay attention. And this lining up of stars, planets and stars, this energy is just so into a star pattern is so powerful. And so Saturn in Aquarius, building something new, trine to the North Node at 11 degrees. We've been feeling this all month, and it's about new possibilities. Saturn Aquarius is about what are the new rules. Saturn's trying to figure out what are the new rules of the new paradigm because he needs to and of course, it's the old rules. It's God's law. This is what the Aquarian age is about. It's about the law that's beyond all laws, that this truth that humans are sovereign because they're in a body connected to God's source. Therefore, sovereignty, freedom is a God-given right. It's exactly the same as hooking up to our life force, having access to our God-given life force. This is truth. This is freedom. This is life. It's also our immune system. Is it starting to make sense now? This attack, medical tyranny, it's an attack on our life force, disconnecting us from our power to heal ourselves. That is everything, except we're evolving beyond disease. And this medical tyranny is becoming a crazy joke. It has been a joke the whole time for us that are awake. When is the joke revealed? When do we take the masks off and see who's behind these people that we think are in charge? Um, so just incredibly, incredibly powerful. And now Saturn is also in a sextile to Chiron and Aries. So this is a key. So the new rules that we're exploring is truth is what gets us. We got to have truth and transparency if we're going to ever build a new age. Come on, people. And then we've got to have Mars and Chiron and Aries at also at 10 degrees, exact semi-sextile to Uranus and Taurus. But that sextile between Saturn and Aquarius and Chiron and Aries, mystical, magical solutions. And this is saying the laws and rules, the new laws and rules, which are the old laws and rules, which are the, basic God-given human rights. And it's like, wait, we still are fighting for this? Oh yeah, that's what this has been all about. Live free or die. This is Chiron and Aries right now at 10 degrees, live free or die. And, but the sextile with Saturn and Aquarius is saying, yeah, the new rules and the new age and the new laws, which is the old laws and the natural laws and God's laws, it's based on sovereignty of the human because that's the highest life form, because you're in a body with a soul and aware of yourself as God consciousness. Highest, you answer to no one. You are top of the totem pole. We simply got duped into thinking it was different. We simply bought into the fact that somebody else needed to be in charge of our power to the point where we didn't even know it was our power. Like feed that shit through electrical lines so that they can continue to pay us and continue to be slaves. But now this is all about free energy. This revolution of wealth is free energy. It was free. It's always been free. It's our freaking energy. If we were told the truth, we could plug right into our very own bodies, charge our shit. Seriously. And so the game is up, right? Like, and so, but this sextile is like, okay, so we know that the trine to the north node is saying we got to have truth and empowered voice and overcome division. And then sextile with Chiron says the new age is built upon our access to life force, celebrating, living, breathing, executing our right to really live. You cannot do that with a bunch of lies. You cannot do that with medical tyranny. We have to stand up in our power, and you can do that. You're here to do that. You're here leading the way. And then it's like, well, what does that mean? And how do I do it? Live. This whole world, our whole life, as we've been programmed to say, well, you got to do this and this and this and this, and then you can have some time to live. No, live right here, right now. Breathe in the air, the prana, the life force. Do something creative. Get out in nature and breathe hard. Grab a hold of the essence of life and execute that with your will. Now, it's really interesting because with Mars moving over into Cancer now, it's bringing this water element. It's moving the energy that's been stuck. It's bringing up those tears, the grief, everything that's keeping us in the past, keeping us from letting go of the sinking ship of those old patterns. And Mars is our warrior, and the warrior is saying this is about nurturing, right? Because think about it. How can you ever deserve or receive this life force, this access to life force? How can you really live if you don't feel safe and loved and held by the feminine? Our whole world has just completely rejected the feminine. We hate what we need. Nurturing, love, care, this is the cornerstone of God's laws. How can we live if we don't feel cared for and nurtured? So this is a healing and a redemption of that feminine, coming back to what we've been feeling this last week of Venus, Mercury, Uranus. So we can't break out of the mind control thing for ourselves and awaken into the new mind until we heal that feminine, until we feel safe enough to be nurtured and held. This is active compassion. It's a really powerful energy for us right now. And the only place you can put that compassion right now, it's frustrating, right? Because you're like, can feel I've dedicated my life and lifetimes to this planet, to this evolution, to spiritual growth, to good things, to healing. And nobody freaking wants it. Everybody just wants to go asleep and put your blinders or masks on. And this is when humanity has to say, at the core of all this whole process, that they're willing to receive again, so that the God consciousness can descend into our world through Christ consciousness, through these souls being born. These souls that are being born right now, these incredibly powerful beams of light that are babies trying to be born right now, they are going to have a nurturing mother to handle that kind of light. We got to have our nurturing mother back. We got to awaken the sleeping dragon that is the positive feminine, the serpentine kundalini energy that is what brings us life, right? So we're going to try to live in humans, but we're going to cut ourselves off completely. Oh, those reproductive organs in the feminine body, they're not yours. They belong to the medical system. That power, oh, that's your ancestral, they have claim over your life force because those eggs are their babies. This is all these stories we played out where we're not owning our life force and our autonomy because we haven't felt safe and nurtured. And so this compassion, this active compassion, you got to give this to you as an advanced soul. You're here to lead the way. Nobody is going to come and pick you up and rescue you until you're willing to do this for yourself, until you're ready to receive and you're ready to. This is what you've been doing. We've been doing is crawling our way back to the mother and being like, it's not supposed to be like this. Actually, that's the whole point of you as a soul and your soul groups for being here. Humanity, it's not supposed to be like this. We can evolve beyond it. And then you got sucked into the swamp. And then you created karma with lower evolved souls that wanted to manipulate and own your power. And you got sucked deeper into the swamp over lifetimes. Now the swamp is getting flooded and flushed out. And we're cleansing and healing. Let these energies flow in your life. Let the grief flow. And, Cancer rules this active compassion, nurturing love, and also those stuck grief emotions, that disconnection from source. And so at the core of everything, that's what's keeping us from moving forward. How can we have new wealth if we don't feel worthy of receiving? And so you can see that these distortions that have been twisted into humanity have so much to do with the mother and the creation of a dark mother that's a separate mother that we reject and feel rejected by. And the reptilian program, so we talked about how these, part of what Chiron and Aries and the activation of this time is about claiming our life force, claiming our sovereignty, claiming our freedom as human souls. And what we're dealing with here is extraterrestrial races that have been manipulating our DNA. No, it's not okay anymore. No, we say no now. But part of the DNA manipulation, you could just see as an example, might be this reptilian program. Reptiles do not parent their young. They leave those eggs. Have fun, guys. That's the program. We've been completely and deliberately disconnected from our mother. It's a long-held, long-term agenda that infected Earth before even the beginning, in the last incarnation of the Earth. So anyway, here we are, but these planets are all lining up because we've got Saturn at 12 degrees Aquarius and then sextile to Chiron at Aries at 10 degrees, 10 degrees, and then semi-sextile to Uranus at 10 degrees Taurus. And then that is semi-sextile to the North Node at 11 degrees. And so 10, 11, 12, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, let's get the show on the road. And we thought that, it's like the fire activating energy, right? But the water is what moves us. And the waters of grief, repressed emotions, deep suppression, disconnection to our feminine side is what stops us in our tracks. So we all have to feel our relationship to the feminine. You might be like, oh, I worship the goddess and yada, yada, yada. But it's like, it doesn't mean you're treating your feminine with any respect. because you're not receiving the blessings of this life. Because you're still bought into that bullshit shame programming, which is basically this whole Taurus energy giving us an opportunity to step out from under that shame. Scorpio full moon shining the light on that, of all that black moon Lilith and Taurus has stirred up in our field, because if we need the mother, but we don't think we deserve the mother, we can't get anywhere without the nurturing, and we can't heal, and we can't move forward, we're stuck, then it all comes back down to this separation, this delusion, this dark mother, all based on shame. One little word, so much power. Nobody wants to talk about it. And yet it's ruling our whole world, because that's the energy that's keeping us from being like, hey, I was wrong. Wait, I didn't see the truth in this. I chose to, wait, I was wrong about this. Wait, I can own this. Can you own this, humanity? We all are going to have to own it. Even the know-it-alls that completely do their research, your mind is going to be blown. If you're confused by some of the things I've talked about, it's because we're not allowed to talk about it. And our minds, all of us, about to be blown. If Mercury, Venus, Uranus, and now the sun isn't saying minds blown, then I don't know what is. And minds blown around the true wealth. And that's you. Supernovas, it's your time. The tide is turning. Now the world is going to respect you and be like, thank God you're here. And can you lead the way? And what are we going to do next? Oh my God. Because you hold the true wealth, and you never disconnected from source, even though your feminine got really wrung out and worked over. Bring her home, love her up. It's time for the new wealth, which means time for the new self-worth and the new mother. What would this world look like if we all felt cared for? That's the new paradigm. So how are we going to get there? We'll see. But Jupiter is also at 27 degrees, just 1 degree over from Pluto. And this is a semi-sextile. These are also these semi-sextiles, these little transits are like, okay, come on, you guys, let's do this. Let's hold hands. We can figure this out. If we use all of our perspectives together instead of fighting each other, right? And so Jupiter at 27 Aquarius is saying, we're trying to expand into this new thing, new leaders, new ideas, new vibrations. And Pluto and Capricorn is like, yeah, but we got to break down those old structures of authority. The new authority, oh, wait, humanity, we're sovereign. We forgot. The new authority. Except we still need those inspired, excuse me, we still need those inspired leaders to take the way. And there's a huge energy of that. This is like a torch in the sky. That Chiron in Aries and all the other planets, everybody is on board in this whole set of the zodiac from Aquarius to Cancer. Now Mars moved into Cancer. So when Mars comes to that 10-degree mark, where it'll be sextile Uranus and square Chiron and in conjunct to Saturn in Aquarius, that's going to be an interesting time where we kind of figure out what this is all about. But the message, be witness to what's happening. And because we're definitely at the end of the road in the rat maze, so something's got to give, right? Move your emotions, claim your life force, claim your life. This is all about living. And if we don't live free, if we don't have truth, we can't be free. And we can't be free, we can't have our life force. So we need truth for our life force and to fully live. And as an advanced soul, you are not here to partially live anymore. Life is for living. It's not supposed to be like this, humanity. We got to get out of the swamp. So Mars bringing his motorboat. It's going to get a little bit mucky. We can stay in the muck, or we can deal with a little bit way muckier, probably mudslinging, probably, to get back to unity. Humans, we need to come together and say no to that control energy. And the whole thing that's playing out, the whole pantomime in life right now is just showing us that dynamic so humanity can choose freedom. But you're here to do it right now and to demonstrate. There's a black cloud trying to come over humanity right now. It's a culmination of years of technological control, propaganda, mind control, and now medical tyranny. And the vibrational energy of this jab axe poison, one of the side effects is feeling disconnected from God. So are we going to live or are we going to die? Because feeling disconnected from God, oh, that's your life force. Oh, that's your immune system. Maybe we should have tried out the immune system first, but we'll see. Because, the deal with claiming our sovereignty is also claiming thy will, that this is it's setting your lower agenda self aside and being like, okay, I'm here to be present and bear witness to this spiritual revelation experience on planet Earth right now, and live in that truth and hand over to the laws, to natural law, and God wins. And we're here on the ground team. It'd be nice if we had a little bit more information, but it's bound to come. So I hope you'll consider joining me in just 2 hours for the live activation from this live video. If you can't make the live, you know that the replay is there encoded energetically. So the same link you sign up in, which is in the information box below, will take you to the sign up. It'll take you to the live event. It'll take you to the replay. And you just go catch that replay and your energy's involved, even if you can't make it live. And your intention to join is building this lightship of supernova souls. And thank you so much for being with me. Every event, every time we come together, there's more energy in our field. And that means we're just like this beautiful homeopathic remedy for the collective consciousness right now, as we're holding truth in life force and humans. This is the key. The message coming through right now is this is the absolute key that sets humanity free. And it has everything to do with key Chiron and Aries, is that basic, simple fact that we bought into there was maybe hierarchical powers, all of our religious structures. Well, you can't talk directly to God. He's up there. You got to go through us, right? And what breaks all the spells is the fact that we're the highest form of life and consciousness because we have a body. We have direct access to life force. Don't let anybody take that ever again, not even for a minute. You have those conversations where you're like, oh, I just got slimed. That's going to stop happening. It's like we're evolving beyond that. But it's like, be present, bear witness to what's happening here by being in the revolutionary act of knowing in your heart and soul that you are the highest form, answerable only to the natural laws, God's laws. And therefore, all manipulations must cease. And I see this power, this life force, when that I am energy comes in, it pushes everything else to the outside, so you don't have to navigate so much all the time. And part of that is just by claiming and proclaiming this independence. So, wow, powerful astrology. Happy Scorpio full moon. I hope you have a wonderful Scorpio full moon energy. Be present. Let the tears flow. Let the emotions flow. Let the power come back into your life. Life forces flow, energy, movement. When the body receives that appropriate homeopathic remedy that stimulates the vital force, what happens? Movement. So let those emotions flow. Let this old shit just go down the drain and claim back your life right here, right now. So I have a wonderful full moon, and I look forward to seeing you on the side. Majorly activating time with the sun in Uranus together over this next week. Just like, who do you think you are, humanity? Old wealth, death, mind control program, give up your whole life force, robot living, right? Or are you this? Are you the new wealth? Which is like, wait, we had the wealth all along and they tricked us, but now we're going to celebrate triumphantly. There's no more war, there's no more fighting, there's no more anything to go against because now we know we have it all. We hold all the cards. We, the people, have the power. We, the people, are no longer going to give away the power. So it's a glorious revolution. It's been happening only energetically, but it's about to come. I feel like it's like that breaking through that false facade of reality. There's got to be some sort of mixture of the fake and the true if we're going to move forward at all. So hold space, be present, be the love that you are, be the life that you are, live true to your humanness, your full range of emotions. That is your power that moves energy, that gets you back to God, creator, source, you. So I look forward to seeing you soon, maybe on the activation or the next update. Have a wonderful week and Scorpio full moon. I look forward to seeing you soon. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.